It's so hard to keep up with the latest trends when feeding children. We've spent some time breaking down the food choices to make preparing a meal easier to digest. So, what makes up a nutritious family meal?
A nutritious family meal would be made up of protein, fat, carbohydrate. Basically, each meal for children, whether it's morning tea or whether it's dinner or whether it's breakfast, good to have some protein, fat, carbohydrate. So if we look at the foods that we have here, the carbohydrate would usually come from a grain food.
Okay.
So bread, rice, pasta, crackers, and there's many others,
Sure.
couscous, quinoa, lots of different grain foods and lots of variety. I mean, this is just one kind of bread. We have so many different kinds of bread available to us. We're
Yes.
really lucky with the variety that we have.
So we've talked about the grain foods. What else makes up a nutritious meal?
Okay, so together with a grain food would be something that has protein and fat. So dairy products are great from that point of view in that they have protein and fat in the
Yes.
one food.
Yes.
So milk, cheese, yogurt.
Yes.
If you're not serving a dairy food at that meal, then you could get fat from avocado, peanut butter, oil, butter, and protein would come from meat, chicken, fish,
Yes.
legumes like baked beans or chickpeas, which could be made into hummus, and then it'd have the fat and the
Yes.
protein. So vegetables and fruit need to be offered at least at 2 or 3 meals a day.
Yes.
So you don't need to offer everything at every meal, but choose a protein food, a food that contains fat, and a grain food at each meal, and add to that some fruit or vegetables at each meal.
Okay. It's very popular at the moment to count calories and all those kind of things. What does that have to do when we're preparing a meal for a child?
It's not appropriate at all.
Okay.
If you let the child decide how much they're going to eat at each of their meals, they will get enough calories. Every healthy child is born knowing how many calories they need.
Yes.
And if we trust their appetite, they will get the right amount of calories over a day. They won't necessarily eat all the food from all the different food groups, but
Yes.
as far as the amount of food and the amount of kilojoules or calories, they definitely will get the right amount if we leave it up to them and if they're healthy.
I've noticed that you've got milk here in amongst the food. Why is that?
Okay, because milk is a food, it contains protein, fat, carbohydrate. For babies up to 6 months of age, milk is the only food they need. So cows need cow's milk, humans need human milk, and that's all we need for the first 6 months. But from 1 year of age, when children need to be eating a variety of different foods,
Yes.
milk is not a drink anymore. It's not for quenching thirst. That's what water's for. And milk is a food just like meat or chicken or chickpeas or peanut butter. So, and it's part of the dairy group. It's not separate to, it's part of that food group. So, like all food groups, we don't offer every food group at every meal apart from the grain foods. So we
Okay.
need to offer children dairy foods, one of these dairy foods at least, at each of 3 meals out of the 5 a day, and that way they will get their requirements of calcium and protein and the other vitamins and minerals that are in milk. Many times parents worry because when they stop bottles or breastfeeding, their children don't actually drink much milk from a cup,
Yes.
as opposed to how much they were drinking from a bottle.
Yes.
And that's fine. If you offer yogurt and cheese just as often as you offer milk, they'll get their dairy from those other foods, which are quite popular with young children.
Okay, and because milk is no longer a thirst quencher, it replaces in water and those kind of things, is that right?
Yes, so water should be available at all meals. Even meals where you're offering milk, there should be water as well.
Okay.
And water anytime in between meals if a child wants it.
I, for one, am not a chef, but after speaking with Eve, I'm now confident that my future meals will be prepared with more thought and education as to their dietary purpose.